Eerie Echoes of the Enchanted Garden. He whispered through the twisted branches of the ancient trees that surrounded the Enchanted Garden, a place long forgotten by the townsfolk. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the moon cast an eerie glow on the overgrown path leading to the entrance. It was said that the garden held secrets that no one dared to uncover. Emily, a curious and adventurous soul, had always been drawn to the mysterious. The tales of the Enchanted Garden had intrigued her since childhood, and as she grew older, the desire to unravel its mysteries intensified. One fateful night, unable to resist the call any longer, she found herself standing at the garden's entrance, heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. The wrought-iron gate groaned as she pushed it open, revealing a world that seemed frozen in time. The moonlit garden was a maze of winding paths, with overgrown bushes and twisted vines obscuring the way forward. The air was thick with the scent of decaying flowers, and the only sound was the soft crunch of leaves beneath Emily's hesitant footsteps. As Emily ventured deeper, the temperature seemed to drop, and an unsettling silence enveloped her. The rustle of unseen creatures in the underbrush echoed like distant whispers, sending shivers down her spine. She felt a prickle on the back of her neck, as if unseen eyes were watching her every move. Suddenly, a soft melody wafted through the air, a haunting tune that seemed to beckon her further into the heart of the garden. Against her better judgment, Emily followed the ethereal music, guided by an unseen force. The path twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the garden's depths. As she rounded a corner, Emily stumbled upon a dilapidated fountain at the center of a small clearing. The water, stagnant and murky, reflected the pale moonlight. The source of the haunting melody became apparent. A music box, weathered and forgotten, set in the edge of the fountain. Its delicate notes hung in the air, sending a chill down Emily's spine. Compelled by an unseen force, Emily reached for the music box and wound it up. The melody grew louder, filling the garden with a haunting symphony. As the last note lingered in the air, a soft voice whispered her name. Emily turned, her eyes widening in terror, as the shadows themselves seemed to coalesce into a figure of a woman, ethereal and translucent. The ghostly woman spoke, her voice a mournful echo. "You have awakened the echoes of this cursed garden, child. Now, you must face the consequences." With those words, the temperature plummeted, and the once soft breeze turned into a howling wind. The garden itself seemed to come alive with malevolent energy. Shadows danced on the overgrown foliage, taking on sinister shapes that mocked Emily's fears. As she stumbled backward, trying to escape the garden's clutches, the path behind her twisted and contorted, trapping her within the maze. The ghostly figure watched with hollow eyes, a silent witness to the unfolding nightmare. Emily's heart raced as the very ground beneath her seemed to pulse with an ominous energy. The once familiar paths now twisted and distorted, leading her in circles. Desperation clawed at her as she realized she was trapped in a spectral labyrinth with no way out. The ghostly echoes intensified, their whispers now more pronounced and filled with ancient sorrow. Emily could feel unseen hands reaching out to her, their cold touch sending shockwaves through her body. Panic set in as she realized that the garden itself hungered for her soul. Hours passed like an eternity as Emily wandered through the shifting paths. Her every step met with resistance from the enchanted foliage. She could feel the presence of unseen entities closing in, their whispers growing louder and more insistent. Madness threatened to consume her as the relentless maze toyed with her sanity. In a desperate attempt to escape, Emily followed a faint glimmer of moonlight that seemed to pierce through the twisted branches. As she pushed through the thicket, she stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an eerie silver glow. At its center stood a majestic oak tree, its branches reaching towards the heavens. But the respite was short-lived, for the ghostly figure materialized before her once more. "You cannot escape the curse, child. The echoes of this garden demand retribution," the specter intoned, her voice echoing through the clearing. Emily, now on the verge of hysteria, pleaded for release from the spectral torment. The ghostly woman's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as she spoke of a long-forgotten tale, a tragic love story that had cursed the garden for centuries. The echoes of the past demanded justice, and Emily, unwittingly drawn into the web of fate, had become the unwitting protagonist of the spectral drama. The ghostly woman's mournful gaze shifted to the ancient oak tree. Its gnarled roots seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. The tree itself, a witness to centuries of sorrow, held the key to breaking the curse. Emily, guided by a mixture of fear and determination, approached the oak. The ground beneath her trembled as she reached out to touch the tree's bark. The very essence of the curse surged through her, revealing glimpses of the tragic love that had bound the garden in darkness. A forbidden romance, betrayal, and a broken promise. The garden bore witness to it all. With newfound understanding, Emily felt a surge of courage. She vowed to break the curse that bound the Enchanted Garden. The ghostly echoes intensified as the very fabric of reality seemed to warp around her. Shadows coiled and twisted, merging into the spectral form of a long-forgotten lover. As the echoes crescendoed, Emily spoke the words that would unravel the curse, a chant passed down through the ages. The ghostly figure's eyes widened, and the air crackled with magic. The garden itself seemed to convulse, as if awakening from a long slumber. The curse shattered, and these pale spectral entities that haunted the garden dissipated like mist in the morning sun. The twisted paths straightened, and the once malevolent foliage now stood silent and still. The moonlit glow that bathed the garden softened, casting a serene light on the now peaceful sanctuary. The ghostly woman, her mournful expression replaced with gratitude, faded away, leaving only a whisper on the wind. Thank you, child, for breaking the chains that bound us. May the echoes of this garden be heard no more. Emily, exhausted and shaken, emerged from the now tranquil Enchanted Garden. The wrought-iron gate creaked closed behind her, sealing away the horror she had faced. The town, unaware of the supernatural events that transpired, continued its slumber. As Emily walked away from the garden, she couldn't shake the feeling that the echoes of the past lingered in the shadows. The Enchanted Garden, once a place of dread, was now a testament to the indomitable spirit that could break even the darkest curses. Little did Emily know that, with the breaking of the curse, a new chapter had begun. The town, now free from the spectral chains, would forever be indebted to the brave soul who dared to face the eerie echoes of the Enchanted Garden. For more videos like these, please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon.